Hello everyone, my name is Linda, and this is the story of Luther Burbank and the Shasta daisy. Luther Burbank created the Shasta daisy and hundreds of other flowers, fruits, vegetables, and grains. When Luther was a child, he became very interested in plants. Near his house was a patch of wild ox-eye daisies, which at the time were considered to be weeds. Luther liked these flowers a lot, even though they were weeds, so he decided that someday he would create a daisy that would be appreciated. He had many great ideas, even when he was still a child. His new plants made such an impact that his birthday is celebrated as Arbor Day. Luther was born and grew up in Massachusetts, where his father had a farm. One of the main crops they grew was cranberries. Luther realized that he could make their cranberry bog bigger and the crop larger by building a dam on the river. The dam flooded a new area where the cranberry plants spread. The new flooded area froze during the next winter, and the Burbank family children had their own skating rink. The following year, the larger cranberry bog yielded a bountiful harvest. Other farmers in the area noticed this and built their own dams. His first experiment with seeds was with that ox-eye daisy. One day, while he was playing, he saw a daisy that was much larger and prettier than the rest. He marked the place where the plant was growing, came back when the flower was ripe, and gathered its seeds. He planted those seeds in a flower bed near his home. But there was such a wide range of variety in the types of flowers that grew from those seeds that his father forced him to destroy all of the plants. He resolved to repeat the experiment somewhere else after he grew up. California was the home of Luther's older brother George. George's descriptions of the plants that could be grown in California convinced Luther to someday move there, and he eventually did. He used the money he got from selling the rights to his blight-resistant Burbank potato and bought a ticket for the train to Santa Rosa. This is Luther Burbank's home in Santa Rosa, California. It's a registered historic landmark. To the right, you can see his greenhouse where he conducted many of his experiments hybridizing plants. This is the other side of his greenhouse. The brick area at the end has a stove and a chimney to heat the greenhouse in the winter. Many famous plants started out here. The following pictures of plants are all growing in his garden. He developed many different kinds of berries. He developed many different kinds of roses, including this one. This is one of his dahlias. He developed cactus for their tasty fruit. Spineless cactus for cattle food. And pretty vegetables. This is ornamental kale. Some people use it in the borders of flower beds to add color. Luther sent away for plum seeds from Japan. The first batch of seeds arrived dead, but the second batch survived the trip and thrived in California. One of those seeds was developed into the Santa Rosa plum. This is a picture of a mature plum tree. Do you like these flowers? The older types of plums had far fewer flowers, and they were smaller, less fragrant, and grew tiny fruit. He also created better apples. When they were children, Luther's brother Alfred fell out of a tall apple tree while trying to pick apples that were out of his reach. Luther decided to someday create a smaller apple tree that was easier to pick. His trees even had several varieties of apples growing on their branches. He did this by grafting the trunk to a dwarfing rootstock and grafting branches from an assortment of apple varieties onto the trunk. Now his home is a museum operated as a city park. It has a gift shop and tours of the grounds. This side is the entrance. This is the other side of the house. He designed and planted some of the landscape that you see here. Here is a picture of the map of the grounds and a view of another side of the house. Many of the plants in his garden have labels telling their names. Here you see his Shasta daisy, now a popular landscape plant that's widely available around the world. Over 17 years he crossed 4 different types of white daisies from the United States, Europe, and Japan. He named this daisy after the white snow on Mount Shasta, a mountain in California. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and learned more about the life of Luther Burbank. Thanks for watching.